The year is 1453. For 54 days, the thunder of massive cannons has shaken the ancient walls of Constantinople. Inside, Emperor Constantine XI knows this is the end of an empire that has lasted over 1,000 years. But how do we reach this moment? How did a young Ottoman sultan succeed where countless others had failed? By 1453, the once mighty Byzantine Empire had been reduced to little more than the city of Constantinople itself. The heir to Rome, which had once ruled from Britain to Mesopotamia, now controlled barely 8 square miles. Yet Constantinople remained the greatest prize in the medieval world. Protected by massive land and sea walls, it had withstood 23 sieges over 1,000 years. The city controlled the vital trade route between Europe and Asia, and its conquest would mean the death of the last remnant of the Roman Empire. In February 1451, a 19-year-old sultan ascended to the Ottoman throne. Mehmed II was brilliant, ruthless, and obsessed with one goal: capturing the city that had defied his ancestors for 2 centuries. European courts dismissed him as an inexperienced boy. They would soon learn otherwise. The Ottomans have been expanding since 1299, conquering most of Anatolia and the Balkans. Mehmed's great-grandfather Bayezid had been defeated by Tamerlane in 1402, nearly destroying the empire. His grandfather Mehmed I had rebuilt it. His father Murad II had made a European power. Now young Mehmed would complete their work. Mehmed understood that Constantinople's walls, built by Emperor Theodosius II in the 5th century, could not withstand modern artillery. He commissioned Hungarian engineer Orban to build the largest cannons ever seen. The Great Bombard was 27 feet long, weighing 19 tons, capable of hurling 800-pound stones over a mile. On April 6, 1453, Mehmed's army of perhaps 80,000 men surrounded Constantinople. Against them stood Emperor Constantine XI Palaiologos with barely 7,000 defenders, including 700 Genoese volunteers led by Giovanni Giustiniani. Constantine had one advantage. Constantinople's harbor, the Golden Horn, was protected by a massive chain. Ottoman ships could not attack the seawall, but Mehmed had studied his history. If ships could not sail into the harbor, perhaps they could be carried overland. On April 22nd, the impossible happened. Under cover of darkness, the Ottomans hauled 70 ships over the hill behind Galata, bypassing the chain entirely. By dawn, Ottoman vessels floated in the Golden Horn. The Byzantines awoke to find enemy ships where no ships should be. For weeks, Ottoman cannons pounded the ancient walls. The Great Bombard could only fire 7 times per day. Its massive weight required 3 hours to reload, but each shot brought down tons of masonry. Byzantine craftsmen worked frantically each night to repair the damage. By late May, everyone knew the end was near. Constantine XI removed his imperial regalia and chose to die as a soldier rather than an emperor. On May 28th, he addressed his men. "It is better to die in battle than to outlive the destruction of our country." At dawn on May 29, 1453, Mehmed launched his final assault. Wave after wave of Ottoman soldiers crashed against the weakened walls. When Giustiniani was wounded and withdrew his men, a section of wall was left undefended. Ottoman troops poured through the breach. Constantine XI stripped off all symbols of his rank and threw himself into the final battle. His body was never definitively identified among the thousands of dead. The last Roman emperor had fallen with his city. At 21, Mehmed II entered Constantinople as conqueror. The city that had been the heart of Eastern Christianity for over 1,000 years was now the capital of a Muslim empire. Mehmed would be known forever as Mehmed the Conqueror. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves across Europe. The last link to the ancient world was broken. Greek scholars fled westward. carrying precious manuscripts that would fuel the Renaissance. The Ottoman Empire now controlled the vital trade routes to Asia, spurring Europeans to seek new paths to the east. Under Mehmed's successors, especially Suleiman the Magnificent, the Ottomans would expand further into Europe, reaching the gates of Vienna in 1529 and 1683. For over 2 centuries after 1453, the Ottoman Empire would be Europe's greatest existential threat. Today, Istanbul stands as a testament to that moment in 1453 when 2 worlds collided. The fall of Constantinople marked not just the end of the Byzantine Empire, but the beginning of the Ottoman Empire's golden age, an empire that would endure until 1922, spanning 3 continents and lasting over 6 centuries. The conquest of Constantinople reminds us that no